Alright, what's going on guys, it's Liam here and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about what it's like to be a Wizard101 content creator in 2024. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for some time now, and I've been kind of pondering how to actually format the video, and I figured I would include a list of pros and cons of things that I have experienced from start to finish, and just kind of talk about how I made my channel in the first place and things I looked out for when I made my channel. Now, obviously, I'm not like a huge YouTuber or anything like that. I think right now we're like approaching 5K subs, which is pretty cool, and I am thankful for it. And one thing I really like about my channel is the fact of the matter, I just kind of started posting out of nowhere. I never really had any friends, any connections, any, clout really to go off of. I just kind of sat down and made content. So I figured, offering my perspective on things might be helpful to some of you as well in the community if you want to start on making content. So let's start from the very beginning, I guess, in my case, right? So I've always, kind of liked commentary, right? I watch a lot of commentary videos on YouTube I'm subscribed to and stuff like that. And I was looking through the Wiz community and the creators. So I came across, people like Ferric, Blake PvP, Awesome the Sauce, stuff like that, right? So this was around the time I was obviously questing all my characters to max level. I was looking at the content and trying to figure out, okay, what's like a niche I could fill in the community? Or what is something in the community Wiz does not have, right? And for me, with my, passion for commentary and stuff like that, I kind of saw Wiz doesn't really have a lot of consistent commentary channels, right? So me liking the commentaries and seeing that, obviously I was kind of gonna try to fill that niche in the community, and here we are. I can talk about whatever and it does okay, and I'm happy. I like that I can just come on the mic and talk to you guys about anything Wiz related. It generally makes me happy, and I love talking about the game, even though I know I might be a bit harsh on it sometimes and a bit of a critique on it. But yeah, my point is, look at the other creators that are active in the community, kind of look at, what they do, right? Like, I don't know, for example, Sauce is like the main guy, kind of predicated towards PvP. Ferric's not really active anymore, but he's more of like a guide PvE channel. Gume is like really goofy. Then you got some like female content creators out there as well who got some interesting content, right? Just, at least in my case, you just kind of like label them and be like, okay, what do I want to label myself as in the community, and just keep working towards that. And eventually somebody will come across your content and be like, yo, this guy's cool, this guy's different, and they'll probably subscribe to you and stick around. So that's kind of what I did. It's just do something I wanted to do, right? Kind of research around the community on where I could fill a spot in the community, stuff like that, and obviously be very consistent, right? I would recommend being very consistent if you do want to do YouTube, because even if you just take a day off of YouTube, it could be really bad. For example, if we look at my channel, I upload every day, if not every other day typically. But if I take a day or two off, typically the next video I'll put out will underperform. A little while ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I took 3 days off, and then the next 2 videos I posted were like 10 out of 10s, which basically means like really, really bad, like not good, right? But then after that, I stayed consistent for 2 weeks and all the videos do really well, right? So if you want to do YouTube and grow quickly, I would recommend, doing something you love, filling a niche, and being very, very consistent and not taking more than a day off, That being said, you can make content and not post all the time and grow. There's a lot of creators out there who take a lot of time to work on projects and videos that do very, very well. Somebody like Wayne, or I think Glad, what's his name? Glad something. The Wizard101 Iceberg guy, that guy. He's got pretty good content as well, right? They take a lot of time to work on their videos. They do well, and they are a reasonable size as well. Now, I want to talk about a couple of the pros in the Wiz community for being a content creator, or just, you know, being known in general. Wiz has a very interesting community. It's a very nice community, very welcoming community. A lot of the people are very nice, you know, especially in the PvE audience, man. Like, I can just be farming and team up and editing a video, and, you know, I might be throwing every now and then, but somebody will recognize me and be like, oh, like, hey Liam, like, keep doing what you're doing, we appreciate you, and stuff like that. And just like the little things like that really go a long way, I guess, you know. And at least in my case, right, where I do a lot of PvP and it becomes quite negative if you do that for a long period of time, it's just really nice to see like a breath of fresh air in terms of like positivity, like in PvE and stuff like that, where, you know, if I'm in the commons or in the shopping district and somebody recognizes me, they're, you know, very nice. I'll throw some screenshots up on screen if I can find some. But the community, very welcoming, a lot of genuine, nice people as well. Next up, I want to talk about the other side of the coin, which is the super toxic side of the community. Now, some of the stuff I'm going to say in this point is probably going to be really disturbing. So, you know, I warned you before we go any further. But this is kind of like the whole PvP community, partially the raid community, and, you know, some people in the PvE community that might not be labeled as nice people, I guess you could say, right? So I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me in the community. You know, obviously nowhere near as bad as some other people or other creators. I'm not going to name any names, but I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me, you know, just as a dude in the Wiz community. And I'm going to share some of these things in the video. You might have heard of these before as well, guys, if I talk about it on stream or other videos and stuff like that. But, you know, one of these tweets I put out, I think yesterday, it's just, I literally logged on the game to like check my plants, and I see Haley, actually, she's starting to make content now. She does PvP, I think myth PvP typically. And you know, I was just like, oh, sub to Haley, just, you know, being a nice guy, right? And then this guy just pulls up and like calls me like a KI shill or whatever, like KI suck up. And it's just like, okay, that's kind of unwarranted. And I think that's because I had the extra credit badge on, but at the same time, it's just kind of like why? Like, why would you say something like that, you know? And especially in my case, right, man, like I'm very aware that I'm, you know, very critical on KI and Wiz. I want to see the game do better, obviously, at the end of the day. But just to call somebody like me a shill or a suck up just because I have like a badge I earned and worked for, it's just kind of like sad to see and really like demoralizing in a way, you know. And it's just one of those things as a creator you have to deal with, right? Because you are technically associated with KI in a way. Like, so I get it, and I know a lot of people are very bitter towards KI and how Wiz has been over the years, and you know, rightfully so. I understand it, but projecting that onto the creators or just trying to blame creators in general, I see a lot of that in my comment section as well. Liam, it's your fault cosplay got nerfed, you complained about it, right? Just a lot of stuff like that, and you can obviously tell it's very biased feedback as well. It just kind of, you know, comes with, I guess, the territory of it, you know. People will project their frustrations of the game on you, or, you know, KI on you because you are technically affiliated with them in some way, shape, or form, whether that's being an extra credits, doing a roundtable with them, so on and so forth. Next up, I want to talk about one of the things that happened when I was going for Warlord on the Storm, I think about 7 months ago now, around that time frame. So you might have heard this, but basically, you know, when you're a high-ranked PvP player at max level, I can't really speak for the other leagues. I never really ranked up on the other leagues to high rank, but you get a lot of attention drawn to your name, right? Especially if you're a creator with high rank, bro. It's like they double down on things then, right? So when I was going for 2K on my Storm, right, I let people know, you know, hey, I'm going for 2K. I'm gonna try and do it on the Storm, right, guys? And we did end up doing it, which is great. However, there's a very large Liam hate crowd out there, and I might make that into a whole separate video as well. But essentially, to my understanding, there was at least 11 people, like adults, I might have been teenagers too, but adults that were 24 hours stalking me around the arena and monitoring my Discord as to when I was like logging on Wiz to queue and try to like rank up and go for Warlord. So this became very apparent to me because a lot of these new people had like, you know, pets like the -90 pet with like proof, ward, away, right? Back when set resist was a thing. You got to keep in mind 7 months ago, right? So a lot of this stuff popped up, and then I got sent proof of people actually having like literal alarm clocks that were like named Snipe Liam and stuff like that. And people were actually like changing their work schedules and being like, oh yeah, I'll pick up the shift to, you know, snipe Liam from like 8 to 4 or something. I don't know, man. It's just really, really weird, and that kind of made me feel very uncomfortable, and that gave me a lot of anxiety. And I feel like this is something creators don't really talk about, is, you know, when stuff like that, or if you get doxxed, right? Creators don't really talk about how it makes them feel and stuff like that, you know? And yeah, that definitely made me feel some kind of way. It made me feel very uncomfortable in the game. And I actually went into my Discord settings and changed my status of, you know, it says like playing Wizard101 for like 2 minutes or an hour, whatever, because they were using that to see when I was online, right? So I'd appear offline, but then Discord was there as on, so I had to appear offline, then purge my friends list, and then appear offline on Discord. It was horrible. It was horrible, right? Just because I want to play the game, that's what you have to do, you know, unfortunately, and it's what it is. So I would change my queuing patterns, right? So I'd queue in the evening for one game, then tomorrow I would queue in the morning. So I queued once in the morning at like 8:30 or 9. I was like, okay, I know if I queue again, I'm gonna get sniped because I'm literally getting stalked around. I know this is happening, so I'm gonna queue again in like 4 hours and change it up, right? So I queued my game, I won my game, I went out, I went to the grocery store, I visited some family, I went to my auntie's house and hung out with her and her friends for a bit. You know, I spent time with my grandma as well, went for a walk, you know, just had a good time, had a very nice productive day, right? Then I come back and my first game on, it's this loser on a myth with 110 storm resist with a -90 pet. So for 4 hours, it was like 3.5 hours, I think, but he was fleeing, trying to get me. Like, that's just absolutely insane, and nobody should have to deal with that. And keep in mind, guys, these are people I've never interacted with, never done anything wrong to. They just don't like me because it's the cool thing to hate on Liam. It's just something you gotta accept, unfortunately, if you want to be a creator, especially, you know, primarily in the PvP place, right? But that definitely changed my perception and how I felt about the game. It really changed how I viewed the game as well. And this was around the time where I had to, you know, really start reporting a lot of things to KI because I just did not feel comfortable in the game anymore, right? And it's very, very sad to see, man. On the topic of cons, I'd recommend probably not being too controversial on a channel if you plan on making one, because I mean, I make it work, but that's just kind of simply because I don't really care. You know, I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to state the facts. I don't really care, you know, if I hurt somebody's feelings by saying, you know, Frostbite is broken, or I don't know, Celestial Calendar TC was broken, or Shield Gambits are broken. I don't really care if I hurt your feelings. Like, it's a fact. It's the meta. It is what it is. I'm going to say it. You know what I mean? But if you come in with that attitude like I have, it's going to turn away a lot of people who are, you know, obviously sensitive and biased towards their school or whatever the topic is, right? So if you are looking to like grow quickly on Wiz, I wouldn't recommend really doing that, because again, like logically on paper, you're just turning away more potential viewers and stuff like that. But at least in my case, I just want to say what I want to say. I want to state the facts, and I'm going to be me at the end of the day, and it is what it is, you know? And the last thing on the con part here I want to talk about is kind of going to be about some experiences, you know, personal experiences. I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of disgusting stuff that happens in the community, man. Like, I don't even know some examples. Like, there's a lot of racism, I guess, in the community, you know, regardless of what race it is. You know, there's a lot of sexism as well, stuff like that. There's I said, you get stalked quite a bit, you get harassed a lot if you're a creator. Again, in some cases you don't know these people, never interacted with them at all, they're just very, very weird individuals, you know. And there's honestly so many examples specifically that I could bring up for the video, but I just don't want to, obviously, for other people's privacy and sake, so I'm not going to. But there's just a lot of very personal stuff that happens when you're a creator in this community, and I've seen some of the nicest people like get doxxed and stuff like that. I have gotten doxxed and like DDoSed. But yeah, that's just some of my experiences I've had in the community. I hope this video kind of brought some insight to you. You know, some things you might not know that creators have to deal with, because I know a lot of people typically don't talk about their feelings and stuff like that. You know, mentally, some things you have to prepare for, all this other stuff. Nobody ever warned me about it, and I kind of wish I had that mental preparation going into, you know, making content and being a creator. So I guess, you know, here I am making that video, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a like if you haven't already, and sub. I do post again every day, if not every other day. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. Take care.